Villains in Game of Thrones are equal parts terrifying and tragic, and somehow that makes you want to hug them from a very safe distance. This is 6 times you felt bad for the villain, starting with Sandor Clegane the Hound. Not every monster starts terrifying. Take the Hound. The first time we see him, he steps into a tournament and murders a knight like it's casual Friday. Take the moment he tells Sansa the brutal truth. It's less mentorship and more trauma delivery service, but somehow Sansa listens.
A dog doesn't need courage to chase off rats.
Does it give you joy to scare people?
No, it gives me joy to kill people.
And so do we, even though we're thinking, oh great, now the kid knows the world is worse than we thought. Then there's Blackwater. Flames everywhere, wildfire exploding, and Sandor loses it like someone just set his emotional budget on fire. And honestly, you can't blame him, because he literally has PTSD from being roasted by his brother.
Say your brother gave you that sword. My brother gave me this.
Imagine trying to enjoy a barbecue, and the Hound shows up screaming like a smoke detector on steroids. Relatable? Absolutely. Amidst all the panic, there's his awkward, grumpy protection of Arya. No Instagram-worthy heroics. Basically the anti-hero version of a hall monitor who actually knows what he's doing. At last, Arya watched him stagger around, wounded but feeling like a guy whose life basically handed him a permanent participation trophy for tragedy. Yeah, right. The Hound is violent, terrifying, and probably gives your nightmares a pep talk. He is the monster who never lied about being a monster. And honestly, it's kind of charming in a terrifying way. Then there's Jaime Lannister. He enters the story like a man who has never lost anything in his life, except maybe patience.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no.
He enters a room like gravity owes him money, and somehow people just fall for it anyway. Then, as if life wanted to make sure he couldn't enjoy a single day, he lost his sword hand.
Yeah, this should help you remember.
Imagine being the best at stabbing people and suddenly you can't even open a jar of jam without existential dread. Just when you think he's fully spiraled, there's the bath confession. It's tragic and absurd, like watching a sitcom where the protagonist actually deserves the happy ending but never gets it.
Killed the pyromancer, and then when the king turned to flee, I drove my sword into his back.
Then there's the bear pit moment. The villain everyone thinks is arrogant and self-serving just risks his life for someone else. And somehow nobody's applauding.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Suddenly the swaggery, arrogant knight is just a man doing the right thing, awkwardly, and is ignored just like your boss's WhatsApp messages. And that's Jaime's tragedy wrapped up in a shiny golden package. The man who carried the worst reputation for doing the right thing. Not every villain is built in a dungeon. Some are built at the dinner table. Tyrion Lannister didn't wake up one morning and decide to be morally questionable. He was basically crowdfunded into villainy by his own family.
If I had been born a peasant, they might have left me out in the woods to die. Alas, I was born a Lannister of Casterly Rock.
In Blackwater, he designs the entire defense like a slightly unhinged chemist with a grudge. And what does Tyrion get? Credit goes elsewhere. And of course it does. Why reward competence when you can reward good posture? From birth, Tyrion is treated like a cosmic inconvenience. Tywin looks at him the way people look at a typo in an important email. Personally offended. And then comes the trial.
That was before he married Sansa. After that, all he wanted was her. But she wouldn't let him in her bed. So he promised to kill King Joffrey for her.
Shay's betrayal was not just heartbreak. It's theatrical heartbreak. It's like getting dumped, publicly humiliated, and professionally executed in the same afternoon. That speech, though, proves that you can only poke the bear so many times before the bear starts drafting revenge speeches. Tyrion didn't wake up cruel. He was cornered into it. Yes, he manipulates. Yes, he drinks like wine as a coping mechanism with a loyalty program. But he was treated like a villain before earning the title. If the world insists you're the villain, you might as well get better lines. The villain the world created. Theon Greyjoy is basically the cautionary tale wrapped in bad decisions. and prove his bad decision by betraying and seizing Winterfell like a kid trying to impress his dad with a science project that's mostly smoke and fire. Then comes Ramsay, who treats Theon like a combination of furniture and a stress ball, designed entirely for maximum suffering. Imagine losing your identity and dignity all in one sadistic package. And yet, through all of this, Theon dies, proving that even a guy who spent most of his life as a mess of fear can have a heroic moment. It's the ultimate, oops, I accidentally became a hero scenario. Watching Theon's end is both tragic and funny, because this poor guy's entire life has been a series of catastrophes that somehow still managed to make him heroic in the end. It's like seeing a puppy finally escape a closet after months of abuse, only to trip in front of everyone. But at least he finishes the run. So yeah, Theon Greyjoy is a traitor, a mess, and someone who probably needs therapy more than a crown. The traitor who suffered more than his crime. You are not ready for the next one.
I've done my part. I've brought ice and fire together.
Melisandre enters the story like someone who checked the future in a fireplace and came back extremely confident about the results. She walks around Westeros with the calm authority of a person who believes the universe personally gave her the script to the entire show.
You said you saw my victory in the flames.
I did. I still see it.
The flames lied.
Then she instantly declares Stannis the chosen one, which is a bold prediction considering Stannis has the personality of a locked spreadsheet and the charm of a parking ticket. Then comes the burning of Shireen, which is the moment everyone realizes Melisandre might be reading divine messages the same way people read vague fortune cookies. After Stannis dies, she returns to the wall looking less like a powerful prophet and more like someone who just realized her GPS has been yelling the wrong directions for 3 seasons.
Your destination is on the right.
Where the hell am I?
And suddenly she transforms into a very old woman, which is the fantasy equivalent of discovering your skincare routine is ancient magic and good lighting. When Davos confronts her about Shireen, she just stands there silently like someone who has suddenly realized her entire life plan came from misinterpreting vibes in a campfire. During the long night, this is the first time the flames actually function like a useful tool, instead of a catastrophic misunderstanding. When the battle ends, she dies. Just a very tired priestess finally clocking out after centuries of the most confusing prophecy job in human history. And that's Melisandre's entire tragedy. The woman who trusted the flames completely, only to realize the fire might have just been freestyling the whole time. Viserys Targaryen walks into the story like he already hears theme music playing behind him. In reality, he's a guy living, borrowing life, and yelling about a throne that is very, very far away. From the beginning, he treats Daenerys less like a sister and more like a long-term investment plan. And Viserys has the energy of someone who thinks confidence alone counts as muscle. He walks into Dothraki feast angry and demanding an army like he's complaining about slow Wi-Fi. Everyone around him is calm, eating, celebrating, and he's there waving a sword like he's about to file a customer service complaint against the entire culture. He thinks destiny is sitting in the corner waiting patiently for him to claim it.
I want what I came for. I want the crown he promised me.
Meanwhile, Khal Drogo is looking at him the way you look at someone who just tried to microwave metal. And then comes the Golden Crown, the most ironic DIY project in Westeros history. He basically manifested it, but the universe just decided to deliver it in liquid form. And here, for a brief second, you almost feel bad for him. He wasn't strong enough, but he genuinely believed he was meant for Delulu greatness. He was a guy raised on fantasy who forgot the world doesn't hand out crowns just because you say please. And somehow, that makes his fall feel less like justice and more like a very dramatic reality check. Even the villains made us feel, aw, kinda, while terrorizing everyone. Subscribe and turn on notifications to catch every moment you secretly pitied the bad guys. Not because they were nice, but because for a second, they were human.